Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am your host, Joe the Panther. And now introducing my co-host for this wild trip around the world and through the solar system, the happy heel himself, the man of geek.
What's going on, Ringside Crew? What's going on, internationally known? What's going on, everyone? What's going on, Joe?
Not too much, man. Well, light that flag up for our guest today, because we have a guest from the fun land of Scotland. You want to do the introductions? Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside podcast. Welcome, Geek.
To the Hellhound himself, Jason Hyde.
Jason Hyde.
Hello.
What's up? What's going on, dude? How's it going?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Good.
Just,
good, man.
Changing up the name a little bit. My mom said I kind of fucked up with the name. So I was just like, I'll add a third. Junior. My dad would be the junior. I guess I'm the third. So.
Yeah, people randomly texting me earlier today that I thought would never be texting me.
Yeah. Weird news in the ringside world.
Yeah, exactly. I woke up this morning to hear this one. I told Joe already, and I'm like, out of the random, Chris Van Vliet follows me.
Oh, nice. He followed me as well, and then I looked, and I had followed him for ages, and I didn't know why he followed me. But then he liked a really, really stupid photo I posted of Hagrid from Harry Potter. That was why he followed me. It's obscene. That's so cool. But man, he's like Emmy nominated. Emmy winning. Did he win the Emmy?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I think he has 4 Emmys.
I don't even have one Emmy. I feel like I should have more, but I don't have one, sadly.
We don't have Emmys either. Sorry, don't feel bad.
We'll have the Emmy to brag. Look at this, you did it.
This can be our Emmy award-winning episode, and we'll have an amazing acceptance speech with fireworks and panthers, specifically panthers for the gimmick.
Yeah.
I don't have a panther in my room, but I have a wolf randomly.
My mum has a duck.
Like a duck? Did you say
like a duck, like a pet duck.
Oh.
It's called Walter. I don't really like him. He really hates me, but he exists. That's the best I can say for him.
That's pretty cool. Like where I live in Pennsylvania, people have like the most randomest pets.
Oh, and by the way, one more thing. Not only did he message me today, White Castle actually messaged.
Oh, no way. That is amazing. We don't have White Castle here, but Harold and Kumar, the movie, when they go to White Castle, is amazing, man. I love it so much. That's like a massive spot for me.
So, Jason, when you come to America, I guess that's the first trip me, you, and Geek have to do.
We have to get up a White Castle. Instead it will be Geek, Joe, and Jason go to White Castle.
Yeah,
exactly. That would be as good a movie, and Wendy's, because we have already discussed that. I love Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's.
Big sleepover. You have to have a sleepover. Come over to Geek's house. I'll sleep on one couch. I'll sleep on the tiny couch because you seem like you're taller than me. So
yeah, I think I'm running about 6'4", so I think I might just take the floor just so that I don't overhang everything.
I'm little. So I'll be on the little couch like a puppy. You can get the long couch.
Oh, perfect then. Yeah, that's perfect. We're sorted.
Yeah. Actually, Jason, it's kind of cool. The White Castle the White Castle is right up the block from Geek's house.
Perfect. The journey to White Castle won't even be that far. It'll be a quite short movie, but short films win Oscars, and I don't know if movies win Emmys, but we're winning all sorts of awards, boys. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So,
with it comes the money.
So, if our fans are not familiar with you, introduce yourself.
So my name is Jason Hyde, and I basically hate everybody.
Happens.
That exactly, like humans, they have this weird So,
Why do you hate everybody? I mean, what?
do you know what I mean? They always complain about stuff and like Denny. I was watching the Bo Burnham special where he was like, he just stops a song and just like, can anybody anywhere for 5 minutes just shut up? And that resonated with my bones, man. Like, can they just shut up for 5 minutes and just no? It's too much. Too much of that. They're all weird. And then like, right, so I'll punch somebody's face in, bang, bang, bang. They say that I'm the bad guy. They pay to watch that. Who's the bad guy?
Yeah.
I'm a man doing a job. They're animals. That's the way I see it. So
I see.
went in a
I agree with you. Wrestling fans can be animals sometimes.
I posted your I did this. The first clip you sent us, then I panicked and I was like, we can't post that. I made it.
You can't tell everybody hates everybody.
I merged it together. I had the one who's like, they're weirdos of the internet, wrestling fans.
Oh.
And then you say the thing, and then I merged it together, like we watching and listening to dudes that you know what? Right now, I'm gonna I get my podium, I've got the microphone, the breaking news, all the microphones. I apologize for telling you that. I just panicked at the moment. Sorry, Jason, I panicked.
I'll see. Usually, when you tell somebody you hate them, they're like, "Why?" They don't tend to leave you alone, and I think that's probably the reason I hate them. Is that they're just like, "I told you, go away," and you're not away. People still are out there and existing, and that irks me to a high degree.
Yeah. Don't
worry. I mean, you're all right. Like, you obviously are having me on in that and getting me all the exposure so that more people can know that I deeply don't like them. Which is perfect. So you get a pass. I like yous.
I'm in America. I was scared because we're in America on the East Coast, and New York wrestling fans, Jason. If you tell them you hate them, they will come at you with like fucking hornets.
That's fine. I'm huge.
Look who you're dealing with.
The first thing you say to
is in the UK.
East Coast fans, right? Jason. Hello there, New York fans. I fucking hate you.
And get so much heat.
They don't have to know you. They don't know you from Scotland. They'll just fucking boo your ass out.
That's alright. Like, these people, like, you go to a show and people are booing you and they look and laugh as if, like, oh, he hates that we're booing him. I see what makes these people cheer. Like, that's the Rick and Morty thing, but I've seen what makes them cheer. We weirdos. So I batter the weirdos. They imply that I'm the weirdo.
But the funny is, we'd be front row, me and Geek would be front row cheering you on if you came to New York. You'd be like, guys, you better come to this show and freaking cheer me and not boo me. Okay, fine, we'll cheer you.
Actually, whatever Jason wants us to do, if he wants us to boo him to enhance his character, we'll boo him. If he wants us to cheer him, we'll cheer him. Whatever he wants us to do.
Just react to how you feel to whatever I do. I tend to be like rather a vexing person, so I could you might be a big fan of a wrestler, and I might just I don't know, prove that I can batter them with relative ease, and then I don't know how you will feel, and then you can feel free to boo me if you want, because I love it.
2 weeks ago, me and Geek, we had a guest on Friday that is from the New York Wrestling Connection. If you ever come to New York, you definitely have to research and come to that training facility and then try to get on the roster. He had Joey Conway. He's a heel. Me and him got into the nastiest stare down I've ever got in my entire life. I never felt so angry, even though I had him on a show like less than an hour, 24 hours ago. Me and him, I'm short, so he was staring down at me. I'm just like, I was ready to go. I was gonna take the shirt off, stand there in my boxers, and just go at it with him. But I knew in my head, if I would have touched him, I would have been gone. My eyes were like staring at each other, like fucking Hogan and Andre. I was like, this bitch is mine. But
yes, people need to be approachable to you though. So I'm not really horrible to people specifically, just on account of the fact that they're stupid people. So like, all they need to do is see that my way of thinking is the right way of thinking, and then they can be not stupid people, and they'll be fine. So ignorance is bliss to them. It's just important to make them non-ignorant to the fact that I'm better than them, but they can be better than them just by thinking properly.
Yeah. But the thing with me, I was totally into the character. I wasn't going to touch him. I was just like, ugh. I want the crowd, because we were invited by the event. So I made the crowd think I hated his guy. I stood up, I was booing him, and he stood at me like this.
Yeah.
Staring at me with staring zero like this. And then he got in the ring and said, shave your mustache. By the way, your podcast sucked.
Ooh. That's not even that's like a professionally personal insult. That's a double whammy.
No, we didn't care because he mentioned our podcast. That's all that cares.
I wanted him to get on the mic.
That's all we care about, right?
I thought if he got on the mic and said "Dudes at ringside sucks," that would have definitely got us over even harder with the crowd.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
if he grabbed the microphone and said it, you know.
But I don't think the promoter would have been too happy.
No.
My podcast is terrible, and I love that because people are like, I don't like that. I was like, well, don't listen to it then. And they always listen to it because it's still hilarious. Yeah. So like, see how because it was just for me like a project that I done while I was bored during lockdown. If anybody slates it, I'm just like, all right, can you post that so that somebody checks it out
like
to find out if it's bad or not?
Is it filmed like this on a screen?
It's just audio. It's on Spotify. I think it's everywhere actually. I think it's like on your Apple Podcasts and stuff.
I follow you, by the way.
Perfect. Weirdly enough, I've actually got I think it's like 13% of my audience is from Indonesia. I don't know why. I know no one in Indonesia. I've never been there. I'd love to go, but like I have no connection to that country at all. But they just love me for some reason.
So I noticed you got a lot of people from Scotland on there. Would you ever branch out to the United States and talk to other people or message them?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's just the reason that I've not so far is just like the reason it's also became not weekly anymore is like the lockdown's kind of getting released now. I'm out doing stuff and there's the return of shows in Scotland has just happened. I don't have my first one for a little while. So I've just been kind of hammering that. So like it's been difficult to find the time for people from here. But then at the same time, I'm thinking if nobody here is awake at night when I'm always awake, I could just branch out and speak to Americans. Yeah. Like that's why I was like up for doing this one because like I sleep maybe 3 hours a night. I've got horrible insomnia, so like this is just like keeping me occupied. So definitely I would have people pay anywhere. Especially because there's a wrestler from Scotland. He's actually in Denmark, I believe, just now. He's just won the European Cruiserweight title. His name's Lou King Sharp. He's running something, he's running the Lou King Sharp online dojo, and he is getting guests from all corners with it, just incredible.
Wow.
With Kai Katana, we had Bill James, formerly Bill Dempsey in NXT. Just an absolute litany of people, and like through the Facebook group as well, there's been like a lot of just like networking and stuff, so there's definitely the options there. And obviously like I was saying earlier before we went live, it was like with Adam from According to Woods, Adam Woods. I'm gonna
Adam Woods is great, by the way.
Oh
man, he's such a super nice guy. I can't say anything bad about him.
Like that's even I can't hate him, and I can't imagine anyone ever having a problem with him.
Never.
He'll be on and stuff like that. So I'd probably have yourselves on. Anybody's good to talk to, especially with the weird questions that I come up with, because it's often 10 minutes before I go on. I'm like, paper. I'm just like, what's weird? What's weird? What's your favourite type of yoga? Like stuff like that. That's all I can come up with. It's terrible journalism or really good journalism because no one else would ask that. So it depends on your view of this fine earth.
We're all. We have a friend that always gets mad at our questions. He always says, he calls our question pen pal.
Pen pal questions.
Oh no, that's the ones I love because like I'm a proper weird guy. Like as we were discussing earlier, my living room is covered in space. And like stuff like that. Like I'm into just weird stuff. I've got loads of weird stuff to talk about. So all the kind of non cookie cutter questions, the more personal pen pal questions, I'm up for them. I prefer them, to be honest. So whoever it was that said that, tell them I hate them.
Yeah, so just definitely just tell a lot of your friends that are your Scottish friends, wrestlers, male or female, about us. We're trying to expand more into Scotland.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've spread the word. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing that with basically every podcast I'm on. I try and like because every one of them is yourselves included are really good at promoting me. There's always like plenty of information shared about me and stuff. So like I just see it right to only return the favour as a consummate professional that I am. That was a lie. I'm really, really unprofessional 99% of the time. But so like because of that, I love doing stuff like that. Like I used to be in the music industry very, very loosely putting. Like I was in semi-successful bands and I took in management and stuff. And so I learned a lot about the value of networking and like doing a lot of like, for lack of a better word, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, but in a less aggressive sense of the word, I suppose. But yeah, so I definitely do love doing stuff like that. Sharing these about
like
stuff,
if you have any posters or anything, if you had any posters or anything, like you could send them. I know you don't have Instagram, but you could send them to me and I'll send them to Joe. He'll put it on his Instagram for you.
Yeah, the Instagram.
I've got my sponsor, CRK Graphics. He's currently actually doing something like that because he's just.
And we mean like upcoming matches.
Yeah, he's the one. So that's part of the deal we do is I'll get him work with companies. I'm like, if I'm on a show, I'm like, yeah, by the way, you can speak to this guy. He'll do you a decent price for graphics and stuff like that. So I can send all of those over because I have a guy.
I also decided to toss my T-shirt in the background, our Dudes at Ringside shirt. Not on sale yet, but that's
a prototype. It's a prototype.
Do you know that I actually don't? I have a T-shirt that's out. It's through the CRK Graphics Big Cartel page. So I have a T-shirt that's out. I don't actually have one myself. Like everyone I know has one. Like my girlfriend's got one. My dad's got one. Like loads of people have got one that I know around here. And like if there's a local show here that I'll send it over. But like I genuinely I've never even tried it on for some reason. Like, I don't know why. I feel like it would have been easier to promote now that I think about it.
We had a well, she's coming on later on this month. Her name's Alfie. She's from England.
All right. I'm actually familiar with her.
What's up?
I have heard that. I've not. I don't think I've seen a match, if I'm being honest. But I think I've seen I think she was my suggested in Twitter, and I had a look at some gifs and stuff, and she was
the spear.
Yeah, that was it, and it's like a. I think I've pinned. Yeah, I think I've pinned tweet as like a montage of them. If I'm right, if it's the right person I'm thinking about, I was fairly impressed.
And she also
but see, I used to be. This is a thing that I had a genuine fear of those as a child. So like when I was small, see if I was ever getting into like a fight when I was like in school, I would be like always constantly wary of the fact if there was chairs around, just in case for some reason someone hit me with a concerto.
Yeah. So,
no one ever did, actually.
Yeah. I never. But your chokeslam, by the way, I've seen clips of your chokeslam. Your chokeslam's amazing. It's like you get the height when you hit that chokeslam.
Oh yeah, that was something I had to go through a lot of wrestling trainees to perfect. Just lining them up and just getting the angles. It was quite the day. I'm proud of the chokeslam. I put work into it. But there was actually a whole thing to me using that on account of. I was watching Paul Heyman on, I think it might have been the Stone Cold podcast before it was Broken Skull Sessions or whatever. I was watching Paul Heyman on that, and he was talking about how any finisher, like it was, I think they were talking about like the fact that there was like dilution of finishers, the fact that like a DDT doesn't finish a match anymore. When back in the day you could have comfortably ended someone's match with a crossbody, and I was like, yeah, the choke slam is a false finish now. Like nobody gets pinned by a choke slam anymore. That needs to change because it's literally lifting someone by the throat and slamming them into the ground as hard as you can. If that can't finish somebody, then there's something wrong.
I mean, when I was younger, growing up, it was like the choke slam was Undertaker, Big Show, and Kane. Kane used to always finish his opponents off with the choke slam all the time, and now it's like you see little guys doing a choke slam, and it's like it means nothing.
Yeah, my trainer was actually, there was another dude in my training school who done the choke slam, and my trainer told him to stop. He was like, "You're small, you're not getting any height on it. Think of a better finish." Which benefited us both because he come up with a new finish which he likes a lot better and it looks a lot better, and I got to, without any awkwardness of, "Oh, can I use it?" or blah blah blah, without any of that, I can just use it and I know where I can put it. So it's true. Small guys shouldn't do choke slams.
No, I remember like back in 2002 when Hurricane used to do the choke slam.
Yeah. See, the only time it's acceptable is if it's like a comedy thing where like a wee guy's like, "I'm going to choke slam you," and then the big guy's like, "No, you're no, bang." I'll take it. I'll take that happily. But other than that, it just looks wrong. Like it just doesn't look right at all.
But yeah, I mean the thing is, the choke slam when he did it, I don't even think Fisher had done it because
he's not a small guy.
He's a small guy. I mean, it made the move look kind of weak. I mean, only a big guy should be able to do a choke slam.
And I don't even think that's like highest, but like I don't know if that's even a word, but because like it's literally just the physics of it. Of the reason you do it is because you're tall, you can lift them up high. It's a higher drop. That it makes perfect sense. But to be honest, my choke slam is originally based off of a spine buster. I was watching Bobby Lashley hit his really lifty up spine buster, and I was like, that's what the choke slam's missing. Because people just go, "Whoo, no, bang, kill them, make choke slams great again."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That should be on a shirt, by the way. Make choke slams, dude. That's your next shirt. It should be make choke slams great again.
Yeah, we're like a dog doing a choke slam, like a hellhound.
Yeah.
Recently we have like obviously what you call soccer is football over here, and it's like a huge deal. Mm-hmm. And we had the European Championships recently, and when anyone's playing England, Scotland just support that team. They just want England to lose. It's like a friendly thing. But when that was happening, I changed my name on Twitter to Hellhound in Italian. But there was a thing where it came up like the wrong translation, and you know how you always check, so you translate it and then you copy and paste it, do it the other way, and make sure it says the same thing.
Yeah.
I did that, so it done Hellhound. I copy and pasted it.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, that's
the parents got mad at me that I stopped.
That's wrong.
They were like, "You're doing your." My mom's like, "What time's your show?" And I said, "Right now." And she said, "What the hell? Go back down there. You're leaving Metal Geek to the rest of the show."
I was doing fine. Yeah, we were having a conversation about the choke slams and everything.
Yeah, we were talking about choke slams, and then I can't remember where it was. It's probably something stupid. I often say stupid things. It's one of my bigger problems. I don't remember where it is, but I'm sure whatever I was saying was really funny.
But,
by the way, I always joke with Duke and the guests that come in. It's like, if we ever go to a show, for reason go to Scotland and do a show. I was like, I would want to be down there like a week earlier. So if you could bring me to the training facility and teach me to take a bump, if you want to take, I'm thick. I'm a thick boy. I'm a swimmer. and I'm buff. So I could probably take a bump. I don't know. I haven't. I've fallen downstairs and I've fallen at work over wood pallets, and nearly fucked myself up. So I think I could take a bump in the ring. If I could take a bump in the ring and fall on a pallet, I think I could fall in a ring and not die.
See, I actually didn't take a bump in a ring until I had been training for a year, because where I trained originally doesn't have a ring. It has mats on the floor. I actually prefer that I learnt that way, just because it teaches you in a different way, and then you can still learn in the ring. But yeah, so see, when I took my first bump in the ring, I was buzzing, because like bumping on the mats on the floor was torture. Like, it was absolutely torture. It obviously has either destroyed my back or toughened it up. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with toughened it up for optimism. But so now when I was bumping on the ring, it was brilliant. I honestly didn't mind. Now it's caught up with me, and now just bumping is pain. But that's the nature of the beast, I suppose.
There's a running joke of the show that Joe has to take the chokeslam from you.
Oh yeah, no, I can get the height on you. Like, you said you're a wee guy. I can show you what it's like to be even taller than me.
I gotta weigh myself, and I'll send my weight to Geek so you could know what you're lifting up, because my friends used to have a backyard wrestling federation. I'm not promoting that. That stuff is not safe, people. But
yeah.
The guy was twice my size when he went to lift me up on his shoulders, Jason. And I was stupid thinking he was really going to do something bad. So when I was still swimming in Special Olympics, still full on muscle, whole body was muscular. He went to lift me a Brock Lesnar F5 style, and I punched my whole body like a fucking brick shithouse. He went to pick me up, and he was like, cut the fucking camera, Randy. Don't fucking do that ever again. I'm like, why? He's like, you fucking tightened your whole body up. You're like on something a freaking pallet of fucking bricks.
Normally, for those types of moves, you have to help the other guy out.
He said, why the fuck did you do that? I was like, I didn't know what you were about to do. I got scared. He's like, Randy, you fucking asshole. You could have gave me a hernia.
I found out, actually, that somewhere near me, there is a backyard wrestling federation, which I also absolutely do not condone. If you want to get trained in wrestling, just get trained safely. But for the purposes of the podcast, it is kind of funny. So like the dudes running it are like in their 20s, and they're running a wrestling school out of this backyard wrestling federation. And someone I know went to it, and it's literally just grown men playing wrestling on a trampoline. So that's the quality of backyard wrestling we have here is people on a trampoline at my age. I'm 24.
Yeah. 20. Wow, you're young. 38.
By the way, can you talk about the title for your podcast? Because I was telling this to Joe. Joe says that's the most creative name. He started laughing, by the way. It's like Jason Hyde attempt to socialize.
Yeah, it's because I'm genuinely like I'm good at these now. I say good at them. That sounds full of myself, but I'm really full of myself. I think I'm absolutely fantastic. But I'm really awkward. Like, I'm terrible at social situations. I am so bad at people. Like, again, it just boils down to I don't talk to people because I hate them. But I'm just terrible at it. So I was like, I'll attempt to socialise, because I wanted to make a point of like, this is very shoebox creativity here. This is flung together with the only production like material that I had out of pure boredom, so just don't expect anything good and then you'll enjoy yourself. So I had to make it clear that it was an attempt. But then I did have my tag partner on, Benny. I had him on, and he was like, this is not an attempt. You don't attempt anything, put some effort in it. So I was like, all right. So there's an episode called Jason Hyde Successfully Socializes with Big Benny. But other than that, they're all just attempts that went well. Like the one with Brody, I had never spoke to Brody before the podcast that we recorded, and when we spoke, we were just talking like straight away, like pals, like we'd known each other for ages. So now I still talk to Brody from time to time, and like we're pure chill now just off the back of that. I think that was cool that I got to like speak to people that I would most often not have spoke to, or speak to people that I couldn't see because the world was on fire or something like that. I don't remember what happened specifics.
Did you answer Neomania's question?
Oh yeah, he's gonna head to explode. I'm sorry. What was your favorite wrestler growing up?
So I think the start it was because I got into wrestling super young. Like I watched it basically all my life because my dad, like when he was, my mum would work nights, my dad would watch me as a baby and he would watch wrestling. So I don't remember the specific time that I started liking it because it's just been there my entire life. But the first person I remember being drawn to is The Rock. But my favourite wrestler of all time is CM Punk. Still,
I think
I'm still a mark for Punk.
Just
Like
the way
Punk
Punk is and everything
Punk
about
was about when I was like, he came in, I think it was 2006 he was in ECW, I believe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's the name. I think, right?
So I was 10 in 2006. So I was like obsessed with this straight edge thing. I was like, Mum, I am never ever drinking, and she was like, "You're from Scotland, yes you are. Like, keep that idea. I would love that to be the case, but you are from Scotland and you're doomed." I don't drink now, so up yours, Mum.
Wow.
Yeah. When we
So yeah, so Punk on the
Brody, when we confirmed about Brody, I got really excited. Her promo. I don't know if Brody's watching this or she'll listen to this later. Brody, that promo with the snapping fingers, my sister was like, "On what's with the?" And I was like, "That is her explosion." Boom.
Yeah, see, I actually really like that promo because it's how you. It's literally like it's not basic. That's not what I mean. But what I mean is every base is covered. She's done like she's got herself over. She's got all the information over, and she's got her character over in that small time, and she's nailed that. She's good at that. I'm actually weirdly, I'm quite good at talking like in front of crowds. Like, see if I'm like at a show, I can sit and cut a 9-hour promo if you want, and I'll probably be able to command some form of attention for most of it. I'm really good. So then, in front of a camera with no audience, I just feel really unnatural. Like when I'm doing this, for example, the first thought in my mind is that my girlfriend is like right through there, and she probably has forgot I'm doing this and must just think I'm a mental person talking to myself. I do that sometimes, so
Yeah, me too.
it's a fair assumption. No one else is as interesting as me, so I just talk to myself, and therefore I get
all
a decent
podcasters are is talking to everybody, having a conversation. That's
We were
all
going to call ourselves just Joe and Geek talking to each other on the cell phone, but that's us before we started the podcast. It was just me and Geek sitting on a cell phone yelling at each other for 2 hours going, no. No. And you think,
I can usually tell how a podcast's going to go if I'm recording one of my own, and that, like, see, like, the small wee window before you start recording, like, you can usually tell because they're either going to be sitting there, like, very patiently, not saying a word, and waiting for the camera to roll, and you're like, right, I'm going to have this conversation with this person, they're going to answer the questions very basically, and then I'm probably going to talk to them very little in the future, because we just don't have the mix of conversation there. But then at other times, it's like I was saying with Brody, or like people like Jetstream Jack, a guy from Scotland, come on to the stream with them, the Skype chat with them, had not once had a conversation with either of them. Jack's former tag partner I had spoke to at a show once. That's the closest I've got, and straight away it was just talking away. It was easy. Like, there was a point actually where I was speaking to someone for like half an hour at just purely personal conversation. I was like, right, we should probably record this now. So like, I think you can kind of tell how it's going to go from that wee window.
Yeah, that's kind of like us, basically. Me, you, and Joe, basically.
Yeah.
We never met you. And now we're like hitting it off like we're all best friends here.
That's why we have to make this happen. Jason and Geek, we have to make this happen next year when everything clears up a little better. Jason comes to New York. It sounds like Jason comes to New York Part 2 because that movie already happened in the 80s. Jason comes to New York and we could just hang out, eat White Castle burgers, fart, play
Wendy's.
video games, watch
Wendy's.
movies.
And
Go
not
to-
just that, American McDonald's is so much better than our McDonald's. I need
Go
to
to
hit up a
McDonald's.
McDonald's when I'm there. And an Olive, you have such good food over there, man. Like, we have some good food. Like, we have this place called Nando's. It's like a chicken place, and it is.
I heard about that place.
Yeah, it's so good. There was actually a wrestling move. See where you put someone on the middle
Osprey,
standing up.
Osprey.
Aye, the cheeky Nando's kick.
The cheeky Nando's.
That's where that comes from, because it's if you say you're away for the cheeky
Do they have
Nando's.
an Instagram or social media, Jason?
They do, yeah, I think so. I think it's like Nando's.
Get on that.
We gotta get on that. We gotta bring Nando's to America. That's what we gotta do.
Yes, we have to message them.
To do it. I would love that to be my legacy.
They're called Nando's, you said?
Nando's, yeah, Nandos. It's so good. It's like, I don't know how we've got to this place in the conversation, but I'm
We need
gonna
to message them tonight on Instagram on their page, going, "Hey, we love you in America," waving hand.
And then they'll get mad at us because we'll be like, "We're sleeping."
Yeah.
fine.
There's a running joke. There's a running joke on the podcast, Jason, that he gets mad at me when I'm texting away trying to get guests for meeting these wrestlers from UK or Scotland or Australia, and they're all sleeping, and me and he have this running joke. Damn Americans. Damn Americans, we're sleeping.
See, I still say go for it, like, because people usually just wake up and be fine, but there was a time where someone messaged me at what equated, I think it was 2 a.m. here. I was sleeping, and I just had 9 notifications from this Twitter page that I had never seen in my life before. And they were like, "Hi, can you be on our podcast? We've had someone pull out." And obviously I didn't reply because I was sleeping. And then 9 minutes later, I just did another message going, "Fuck you." And I was like, back to bed then, I suppose. So, like, as long as you don't do that, I'm pretty sure everybody will be fine.
Yeah.
There's a saying in Scotland that shy kids don't get sweets. So that's what it means. If you don't ask, you don't get it.
I wish you were last week's, our last guest we had. We had a wrestler from America. I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna say the name because it pissed me the fuck off, Jason. Guy named, I'm not gonna say the name. I'm gonna bite my lip and not say the name. He came into our comments and said, "Oh, 3 dislikes," and he got annoying. And he said, "I'm not a bot. I'm not a bot." If this is an idiot thing that this guy did, he's a pro wrestler. I found him on Facebook and I bitched him out. And I was like, "You're a pro wrestler."
You're telling us, oh, you only have 1 viewer, you guys. You guys suck or something. Okay.
If you're a pro wrestler and you know a podcast is live, the first fucking thing you don't do is go after the podcast. We're doing a service for you to get your name known around the world, and you freaking hit us in the face. You can go fuck yourself, Danny the pretty boy. Fuck you. That's
Fuck you, guy. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, Danny the pretty boy, whatever his name is.
Yes.
I did that. I was like, I'll go.
Yeah.
That's a real question.
There's my rant.
It's alright. It's good to get that out of your system, man. I've never actually had anything like that. Although one of my friends, basically, whenever I share my podcast, I'll be like, "Listen to my podcast, it's shit." And one of my pals he shared it on Twitter, and he was like, "Very bad, very poor, I hate it." And people went after him, man. Folk were like, "He's just doing a podcast, leave him alone." And I was like, "How can you not see that's the fucking point? I hate it too." That's the point. Get on with it. That was kind of awkward. That's the closest I've came to anything like that. That's wild. I don't even think it's a professional. It is obviously a professional thing, but I think just be sound to folk.
It's like, I don't get it. Like, we're doing a service for them.
I think
they like
there becomes a point where like you need to draw a line between character and person. I suppose, but people are bad at it, I suppose.
Like, I wish it was you, because I know you'd have been like, "Are you kidding me? Is this real? Why would you do this?"
Yeah, no, I'm good at insulting people, so I would have probably made them
Wish
cry.
who was it that was? Oh, it was
You could have put the "I hate you" thing.
Yeah.
I do hate him. I don't know him, but I hate him. I mean, but in fairness, right, the thing about my hatred is that it's beautiful because it's equal. I hate everybody equally, but everybody and everyone else has like no feelings about everybody equally, and then there's people they like or people they don't like. Some people I hate more, and he's fallen into the hate more category, Mister Person.
yeah.
Yep.
Pretty
I
much.
don't
You
think,
seem
Jason,
like you, sir.
Jason, to be honest with you, I don't think you hate me and Joe because you came on our podcast.
No,
And
I
that's-
don't hate you. You're alright because you're letting me get. You're making more people like people hearing that I hate them will upset them, and you're making that possible by letting more people hear that I hate them, which is a golden ticket in my books. Frankly, that's I love
It's a healing.
it. I
I
love
guess we
it.
lived in Scotland then. Yay.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, of course, I've put you in the group chats and that, so there'll be followers to come. Don't you worry. I mean,
Joe, you have to follow us. You have to follow the Scottish Wrestling Network, Joe.
I think I
oh yeah,
did.
I put him over. He's
You have
good.
to follow.
Our
He's
Instagram, I went to follow it, and I guess we followed too many people, and they
Oh, they look sus because it looks like
it
you're a
won't let us the follow button.
Yeah, I've never had that because I don't follow people that much. Instagram I just use for like family and that. And mostly it's photos of me and my girlfriend brushing our teeth. Because people get really, really, really annoyed that we do that. Like, I don't know why. There's some photos of it on my wall over there. And people just get so annoyed by the fact that we post photos of us brushing our teeth. So like, there's one where we're brushing our teeth and I'm pretending to drink shampoo. There's one where we're brushing our teeth and I'm holding my nephew upside down by the ankles like a fish. There's another one where we're dressed like each other, and like we just do it because it's funny, and people get so angry. They're like, "Why the fuck do you keep doing that? Why are you supposed to?" Like, I don't know.
You gotta follow us on
People
Instagram
are
then.
sensitive today.
I'm gonna need a follow. I mean, people can follow me on Instagram if they want. It's Vampire GC. It's like vampire but with a B instead of a V because in Scotland a BAM is like. It's like a little shit, basically. Like, see, like juvenile delinquent people. That they're called BAMs here. So, vampire. Because I am a juvenile delinquent at the age of 24, apparently.
Yeah, so like right now, if you're in a rivalry, you could like call your rival out if you want to.
See, honestly, as my earphones so loud. Do you
That's a
hear it?
first.
Yeah, we did.
Breaking down glass ceilings here with the earphone falling out. But see, it's the case now is it's not a rivalry or anything. I want to fight everyone.
Oh
Every
man.
single I want to fight anyone. Like I went on. There is a guy from Aberdeen, in Scotland, but I live like 4 hours of drive away from Aberdeen, which to Americans I believe isn't that big a deal. That's like a different town. That's like half of Scotland. So like, and I went and I seen him at a show, and I was like, this is how my mind works. So like, this guy, his name is Caleb Valhalla, and he's really really good. Like he's got a crazy good look. He's an absolute ticket in the ring. He's class. And the first thought was like, I want to fight him. I was like, I see this guy who's a physical specimen, an absolute unit. I don't dislike him. I hate him like everybody else, but I don't dislike him. But I want to fight him. And I was like, why does my brain work like that? Like, why do I see the biggest dog in the yard and decide that's the one I'm going to butt heads with? But so not a rivalry, but I would really like to fight Caleb Valhalla because he looks like someone who would at least give me a challenge.
There's a guy in America, Jason, called Tamaku.
Tamaku, I'm unfamiliar with him.
He wants to fight. He wants to fight.
He wants to fight everybody. He doesn't care who
He doesn't
he is.
care how big they are. Everybody.
Oh, my sort of fellow. Absolutely fantastic news. As soon as I get to America, I will hit him up and
You have to follow him on Instagram. You have to follow
Go
him.
on. Tell him. Tell the camera right now. Tell Tamako I want you.
So, do you know what? Hello, Tamaku. I don't know who you are. You've not wronged me in any way whatsoever, but I do hate you. And as such, I would absolutely love to fight you. Anywhere. You can come to Scotland if you want. Scotland's horrible. It's absolutely awful, but at least it's not America.
Oh, that's mean, man. Come on, don't insult us, man.
It's all right. You can join me in a separate nation. It's fine. You can secede. We'll all secede somewhere, so you don't need to be Americans.
Oh,
man, Americans. I love going to America, man. I'll finish off calling this dude. Tamaku, I am a hearty fellow. There is lots of me, and all of it would love to fight you. So hit me up on that right here. We'll become best of friends, and also I can knock your head in. It'll be fantastic. So I've pointed the wrong way once again. Here.
It's gonna happen. Tamako is the type of person.
He would say challenge accepted. He would be that guy.
He will be like,
that's the kind of person I still hate, but I respect. Because you can hate somebody and respect them. It's not. Nobody should take me hating them personally, because it's not personal. They exist. And that is not on in my books. I find that very inconsiderate of them to exist. Not exist. Everybody's got the right to exist. Do it elsewhere. Away.
We also have another one. She's a female wrestler. She's from Boston, Massachusetts. Her name is Little Mean Kathleen. She likes to fight somebody too.
Little Mean Kathleen. That's my grandmother's nickname. So I couldn't fight her just purely on account of the fact that I'm sure she's fantastic. I would be thinking constantly about my gran, and I'm terrified of that woman. She's like, do you know what I mean? She's
a little Spike Dudley. She's like, if you saw her, look her up. YouTube her later.
By the way, she was on a podcast. She is funny as hell.
She is funny as hell.
What do you know what? Get me and her on together, and we'll just insult each other, and that's the fight.
Oh God,
we can do that.
Honestly, I'm so up for being roasted. Like, I love it because I just think it's like my sort of comedy is I literally just like I will walk into I walked into my mum's house, and it was the first time I'd seen her post lockdown, and I just kind of walked into the living room and was like, "Mum, look, I'm a fat bitch."
Oh,
so like my comedy is just fucking self-deprecating. And then I can do it to other people because people annoy me, as we've discussed. So let's do that. Let's have a roast, and everyone can roast me, and then I'll make them all cry. I'm hiding the D in my cup. This stands for detritus. Detritus is waste, which is how I view humanity, and therefore I like to remember with this coffee mug. I also like to drink from it because it makes me look professional, but it's often Dr. Pepper or milkshake that's in it. Currently Dr. Pepper.
Wait, what? Dr. Pepper has a milkshake?
What?
No. Usually, so like, it doesn't. I hope not. But like, I always drink out of this mug or a mug on podcasts and stuff because I want to look professional, like they do on like chat shows and stuff. But I don't drink coffee or that. I just drink like.
I'm a coffee head.
See, I don't drink it just because I think I have a caffeine intolerance. I remember that. I'm pretty sure the doctor told me that. Because when I drink it, I think I'm going to die. But then I'm unkillable, so we'll see what happens if I maybe just tank a couple. So usually what's in the mugs to make me look professional is I'm usually drinking like milkshake or Dr. Pepper or Iron Brew, which is a drink for over here, which I love watching Americans taste test. If you can find it, I think you'll find it on Amazon. I urge you to try Iron Brew because it is phenomenal for a start. It's not as good as it used to be, but my goodness, see that wrestler, and he does like soda reviews on Twitter. I forgot his name. I love his videos too. I think it's not Puff. No, it's not Puff, but someone does soda reviews in America, and he reviewed it, and he loved it, and no American knows how to take this drink. It's like they taste it and they can't figure out what it is, or if they like it, and I love watching it, man. It's amazing.
There's also a guy that does pizza reviews here in America. It's called Barstool Sports.
Barstool Sports.
We
I was
want to get
watching.
involved with them. How do we get involved with them, Geek?
Yeah.
I love that, dude. I was watching a video where he gets high and he gets like this pizza oven sent to him by this company, and it's like you can make our takeaway pizzas at home from frozen in this special oven. There you go. And he does this review, and it's so funny because this guy is baked. Like, he's so baked, and he's like eating the pizza. He doesn't cut it; it's just a circle, crust first. Eats half of the pizza, chews it for about 10 minutes, eats most of the rest of it, forgets that he's recording a video, and then just kind of looks at him, goes 7.4, and then walks away. And it's art. It's absolute art.
Yeah, I messaged Little Bean Kathleen to see if she was available to say hi now, but I don't think she's available.
Oh, we need to arrange something. We can just promo.
There's a couple people you gotta check out. Stockade's another guy you gotta work with.
Oh yeah, you got the Stockade. He's like a
hardcore wrestler.
Is that the dude with the snake?
What?
Is that the dude with the snake?
Yes.
Yes, that's Stockade.
He looks like a fightable gentleman. He looks like a very fightable guy. I would love to fight. Oh, we could. I've got see my partner would hate that. He's selective. I'm in a tag team called The Silence, and my partner Benny would very much. He wouldn't be upset. He'd just stay faces. He'd be like,
"You stole my girl."
By
the way, the people we just mentioned, they're all on our podcast. You could check them out. So
we got Dickie Rods from NYW.
Yeah, I watched a few. I was actually familiar with you guys before. You got in touch with me initially, but like since then, I always watch if I'm on. I always watch, make sure that I'm like I like to make sure that if it's like swearing or non-swearing and the tone, I like to make sure I know what I'm getting into, so that I don't say something that will like piss off our whole audience or piss them off. Like, so I try and like keep the tone as they. So I always check out the podcast I'm on. Plus, it's only like I like podcasts, so like it's always good to have something new to watch.
I feel like I said before, I feel like me and Joe and you are all clicking. You know,
I think same.
Yeah, man. Like, as I said earlier as well, like I'm up. I don't sleep, so like this could go on all night. This could could carry on until next week for Raw. I mean, I have a job, but I don't care about my job.
Like next year, make a trip to New York. I'll tell my parents to drive me to Long Island. I'll take the train, the LIRR, and just take the train to New York to Long Island. Geek will pick me up. We'll pick you up from the airport, Jason, and we'll just have a fun fucking time. Go to freaking White Castle. Go to McDonald's. Just get a whole
Wendy's.
We'll just get everything.
Is it a mukbang that's called? We can do.
We'll just make it like a stoner highlight, man. Get White Castle. We'll get Burger King. We'll get McDonald's. Just have all of them set up on the table. Like try.
You know what I love about America as well is that I went into a shop and they sold odd socks, and I never wear matching socks. Like I think I can show you. So on this leg we have Fanta, and on this we have Pringles. So like. Like, I never wear matching socks, and America is the only country to get me on that level. So, like, I like it. I appreciate America for that, so I'd be so up for that.
Yeah.
Plus, I've only been at the airport in New York.
We'll bring you to Target so you can get all your matching stuff.
Oh, see, Target is not, it's Walmart, right? Walmart is so, like, our supermarkets are shit. Like, compared to, like, there was a man who got like a cover for his gun, like not the gun, but he got like a case, like a carry case for guns in Walmart, and he was going to Walmart specifically for a gun case, a bag of tangerines, and like 2 massive bottles of milk. And I still to this day cannot figure out what that guy was planning to do.
Oh jeez, tangerine and orange and what else?
Like 2 massive cartons of milk, like 2 gallons of milk.
What?
And a gun case, like a case that you put a large like hunting rifle maybe or something. I don't know much about guns, but aye, that was the most obscene experience in my life. I was in there for what was I in there? I was in there for ho-hos because I wanted to know what ho-hos were, and
Oh gosh.
they're basically just Swiss rolls. We have them out here. I was very disappointed, but then I discovered that our American sweet sections are a lie because it looked crap. Like there's like three things, and it's just different flavors of what we have here. But then you go to actual America, and you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like there's like like our sweet section is half of a shelf, and it's
Yeah.
got different kinds of plain chocolate. So I think you just call it Dove chocolate.
Dove chocolate, yeah. Dove
It's
chocolate's good.
it's called Galaxy here. We have that or dairy milk chocolate or Mars bars or Snickers. That's literally all we have. Like food over here is mostly awful.
Do you have
And, like,
Reese's peanut butter cups or?
we do. We have them now. That's actually something that's only came recently, like in the last maybe few years. But
Really?
before that, yeah, like we've only had Reese's. Reese's Pieces are even more recent. Like Reese's Pieces were a thing maybe very, very shortly before COVID kicked off. Like we're slow to the party. We have our own thing. So like, you remember I was talking about Iron Brew, the drink? We have like chewy bars that taste like Iron Brew, and yeah, we also have, there's a type of Iron Brew you can get also that's spicy. So we just don't know what we're doing with
Oh,
it.
here's the man of the hour, your buddy right there.
The artist. Where's Joe?
Yeah, he popped in right now.
Oh, there he is.
By the way, Joe, he loves your artwork. By the way,
I genuinely do, and frankly, there is a chance I will be in your DMs, Joe. That's
Joe, you
that's
draw a picture of his wrestling pose. If you give him that picture, Jason, he'll probably draw that picture.
When I said I'll be in his DMs, I did actually mean to make a commission. I didn't mean like just sliding into his DMs like how are you
He'll
getting on?
Slide in, I hate you, but I love you.
Like, I hate you, sir. Draw me.
I hate but love your drawing. How do you say that to someone? I hate but love your drawing.
Yeah, I don't hate the drawing. Like I hate the show Friends. I've never seen it, but I hate it. Like the state. But I have a Friends cup. Like, see, it's got Central Perk on it, and it has Friends written on it. So like, I hate Friends, but I drink from the cup because it's the biggest mug there is. And as we've discussed, I like putting Dr. Pepper and milkshake into mugs. Not at the same time, might add. So I just put it aside for professional purposes. So like, I do hate everyone, but it's a shared hate. So like, because I don't hate everyone in specific, it doesn't seem like I'm just being horrible to one person. It just seems like I'm a massive dickhole.
Like when you come to New York, we could bring you to where they had the diner, the deli diner, that restaurant, the coffee house. Did that block.
Yeah, I could see what I would do with that, because I have a stupid sense of humour that's probably not funny at all. Is that I like to take pictures, like tourist pictures, but I just look so like I just don't give a beck. Like we were in Amsterdam. Me and my friends were in Amsterdam, and then let's just say we had a very Amsterdam state of mind, and we went into the Ripley's, believe it or not, place. And there's just pictures of me and my pals, and we're in front of like shrunken heads, a fluffy salmon fish, Transformers, like life-size Transformers made out of tires, and we're all just standing with our faces just like. And then we got a woman to take a picture of us all sitting inside a massive, like, you know, you get clogs, like in the Netherlands, it's like the wooden shoe. The world's largest clog is there. And we all sat in this clog and gave this woman that worked at the place my phone to take a picture. And we all done that pose. We were all just like, and the woman was not taking the picture without us smiling. She was like, smiling. We were like, no. Like, it must have come across that we were just such assholes. But she was like, smile for the photo. And we were like, no, I'm not going to do it. So just take the photo of me looking sad. And then we tagged ourselves in it when we put the post up, and the police actually shared it, and the reactions were so funny, man. Like, we were translating them from like Dutch into English, and like someone commented like, which one of them just found out someone died.
Oh God!
Another one was exactly, it was because we just looked sad as hell. So that's what I would do in the cafe from Friends. I would just sit there like.
Well, actually, it's funny. It's like Western, like 10 minutes from the Ghostbusters firehouse.
Oh, nice. See, we don't have anything cool like that. That's like see how in like America, if something's filmed somewhere, you can quite like, if you live locally or that, you can tell. Right now, there is Indiana Jones and Batman.
Oh, I saw that on YouTube. They were filming Indiana Jones in Scotland, and I'm like,
yeah, Batman as well. They're filming it in Glasgow, but you will never ever know that because it's all done up to look like America. So like, and if we feature in the films, like no one knows but us. Like, see in have you ever seen World War Z?
What's up?
World War Z.
World War Z. Yeah, I saw that movie. Yeah.
The best actor ever, Peter Capaldi. He's also in it. He's the best actor. But anyways, there's a scene at the start of that. See when they're in the car and the traffic's all jammed up, and that's when they start seeing the zombies. And then he gets out of the car and they run through the streets, and then like there's that big helicopter shot, and you can just see all the carnage unfold in this big square. That square is George Square in Glasgow, but there was street signs everywhere to say that it's Philadelphia. And it's the same right now, so we don't get featured in anything. But there was actually a guy who was on his way home from work. It was like shared on Twitter because Scottish Twitter was like a whole thing. And he was like on his way home from work. He was going to catch the bus. There was a hold up because of the filming, and this guy just shouted, "Fuck's sake, Indiana, you're going to make me late for my bus," to Harrison Ford. I think it was Harrison Ford or whoever the star is. If it's another guy, I think it's Harrison Ford. He shouted it over to him like, "Just get out of the way, I'm trying to get to the bus." That's the Scottish way of it. Scottish people just don't care who you are. They'll just be like that.
I guess that'll happen to us in we get off the plane and like, hey, you watch our podcast? Who are you?
It's like fuck you, we hate you.
Fuck you.
I
guess it is true.
It's like there's a show over here called Love Island, and it's terrible.
I know Love Island.
It's awful. It's so bad. It's just a bag of piss. And we there's a guy from where I live going on it, and I don't know why, but my mum watches it, so I was like, oh, that guy that's going on it is Faye Wishall, where I'm from. And I don't know why this was the reaction, but she just went, I don't give a fuck. She is a fan of this show. She was just trying to make a point of saying, I don't care for this person or their success. I will still treat them like dirt if I see them. And that is for somebody, like, we're really friendly, but we're also major arseholes.
Yeah. It's like there's so many different shows that I just want to line up and kick in the crotch, and Love Island is one of them.
Oh yeah, see, I feel like that about a lot. Like Friends, I can't tell you how much I detest Friends. As I said, I've not seen it all. I watched a little bit of it in a caravan, or as they call in America, a trailer, because we use them for vacation homes over here. It's weird. So we went to there and we were watching like half an hour of a Friends episode, or a full Friends episode, and I was like, this is the drizzling shits, man. Like, it's not funny and it depresses me. But any show other than Doctor Who is like that with me. I'm just a big mark for Doctor Who and wrestling.
One show you got to watch, Jason. It's called Westworld. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
It does seem so up my street. I've just never got into watching it. I don't actually have the TV package for it, so I'd need to internet it. But it does sound really good because I watched the older one that it's based on, and I really enjoyed that. So I would be up for it. I just watch.
You would love it, dude. You would love it. So I'm telling you, the trailer. I mean, like it's one of those movies where you have to sit down and you actually have to think. You have to think. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's like you just can't glance and say at my phone and be like, okay, what did I miss? Because then you miss the whole entire thing.
Yeah, see, I actually had that. I watched the film today. Actually, it was I think it's called Jojo Rabbit. It's the one. It's about a boy in the Hitler Youth who has Hitler as an imaginary friend.
I heard that movie.
And it's a really it's a slightly comedy movie, but they don't make the tones of the really serious stuff any less serious. So it's a drama as well. But see, because it was on in the background while I was like working away and doing stuff, and my girlfriend was watching it, and I turned around, she was crying, and I just looked up, and like there was like a really horrible scene of like an execution and people crying, and Hitler being behind this little boy just saying "ooh," and I was so confused. Like that movie's very much like that because like I thought I was like this is horrible, but she explained to me that it's actually not in that sense meant, and I finally got it. But yeah, I get what you mean by things that you need to pay attention to.
Yeah,
very much, man. But anybody actually started paying attention to that film, and they should check it out. It's difficult to watch because it's a bit like the war, but it's so good. It is funny at parts. It's not distasteful. I think that I can remember. So they should check that out if they're bored. But that's what I've been watching. I watched that today, and then other than that, I've been watching Better Call Saul.
I heard that.
Yeah, I loved Breaking Bad. I finished it like maybe 5 years when it finished. So yeah, about 5 years ago. And I just never got around to watching Better Call Saul until now, and I'm really annoyed at myself because like it's so good. It's so good, man. Bob Odenkirk is fantastic. Well, I'm a big TV and movie geek, so it's really good. It's good. Everybody should watch that, and also everybody should think nice things about Bob Odenkirk because although I hate him equally to everybody else, I still really like his acting. So.
So have you ever thought of traveling like to like other than America, like to like England and other places to wrestle?
Yeah, I've done. Obviously, it was obviously COVID put a halt to things. I was speaking with some companies in England. I'd booked some shows in England. I'd booked up for a summer camp in Denmark. Stuff like that I was looking into, and then obviously COVID put a big stop to it. But Lou King Sharp that I was talking about earlier, he has lots of connections in Denmark. He's able to give us all the information to and go back to that camp. So hopefully I'll be able to get the time and the ability to do that.
You should get in contact. We're always in like the other promotion that we always push and for people from the different countries. I don't know if you've ever heard of CPW. What are they like? What's the name, geek?
Coventry Pro Wrestling.
Coventry Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, I think I followed them on Twitter actually, and I was looking at some of the rosters and that, and it's very impressive.
We're constantly in contact anyway. So like, we're constantly in contact with them, constantly. Like
yeah, I like that as well. Like there's a lot of people who like for example, I don't know, are any aware of like Cultaholic?
Yeah,
Cultaholic. Yes, we have heard Cultaholic.
Yeah, so like they have, I think Tom Campbell from Cultaholic. I don't know if he was doing this before or it got one led to the other, whatever. But he's also part of a wrestling company that he puts over on the Cultaholic podcast, and they talk about that. It's called North Wrestling. He's in the commentary team, and he's like loads of good stories. So like, there's definitely good crossover ability for wrestling companies and podcasts to.
And what was the other one, Joe? The other one.
Fight
Factory. Fight Factory.
There's Fight Factory, and there's also UK Wrestling.
Yeah, there's a litany, and up in Scotland as well. There was wrestling, independent wrestling, maybe 10 years ago, for argument's sake, or even 6 or 7 years ago, non-existent. It was shows. There was like maybe 10 people in Scotland who worked a full-time job as an independent wrestler, and it would be essentially touring the same show, the same matches night after night around Scotland, and then reshuffling the card. By the time they'd done that, it was time to do it all again. And then in the UK, in England, and in Scotland, there was just 2 separate just boom periods. Like there was guys here like Noam Dar from WWE, NXT UK, guys like that, and Steve Xavier, lots of Grado from Impact. He's done Impact. Joe Hendry, guys like that. They all they all in Scotland came up at a time when it just made wrestling just boom. Up here, and we've got a really thriving scene now. And down south, it was the same with guys like Pete Dunne. When he was starting up in that around his time, I think roughly the dates match up. I could be wrong. Is when that's when the kind of boom period in England started. So we have so much up here, and all the promotions work together. In the sense of like they don't tread in each other's ground. They don't get in each other's areas. Everybody helps everybody because it's like the rising tide raises all ships sort of thing. Like if you make the scene better, it's better for everybody rather than being the sole company in a scene that's non-existent. It'll go back to the way it was and it won't thrive. So there is so much up here. Like there's a company called Respect Pro Wrestling I've been working with. They're doing massive stuff. At the minute, they've got a new training centre home and they're doing such good things. Discovery Wrestling as well in Scotland. Mm-hmm. They get stars in, man. Like there was a match they got. I remember it was Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. They got.
I heard about that match. I think I heard about that. Was that OTT or was that was?
It was at the same tour. They done them like one night after the other. Yeah. It was Discovery, and then they also had Wiley was not contracted. I think it was when he was just finishing off his dates, but he had been on NXT TV, Tommaso Ciampa, and I think that was his last non-US indie date, maybe. Yeah. So, like, see it when he came out to Psycho Killer and everybody sang it. It was wild, man. Discovery's really good for putting on cracking shows, and Discovery in Scotland is a place where you'll get the biggest mix of everyone. Like, a lot of times, companies will have the wrestlers rotating from a certain area, and then have the odd person from outwards come in and wrestle one of their stars and do stuff like that. Discovery is a place where you will get everywhere in the same place. So they're really good to check out.
So basically, Discovery, you're explaining to me, is like kind of like the PWG.
That's a good Scotland,
right? Because PWG, what they do in America is they don't care what company, and as long as you're not signed by somebody, they don't care what company you work for. It's like everybody comes to PWG to do one show.
Yeah, well, they do it sometimes. To be honest, usually if it's they do have people in quite a lot, like quite regularly, like from Ring of Honor. I don't know if you'll be familiar with her, Session Moth Martina.
Moth Martina, yeah, I'm familiar with her.
She's in Discovery all the time. Shug D, he had this match. It was amazing, right? So there's this wrestler from England called Gene Money, and his gimmick is the sexual gammon. He's just this little. He comes across a really creepy guy. He wears weird. He sometimes comes out in thongs and like sailor hats and fluffy jackets and he's an opera. But like he's so much character, but the man can also work. And he came out with black tights with a black singlet on, the hat, the eyeliner, and he came out as the Mundertaker. And he had a match with at the time he went under Sugar Dunkerton rather than Shug D. And that match was amazing. Like, you totally blew past the fact that this guy is pretending to be the Undertaker, and they just tore the house down. And then later that night, actually, a pal of mine, Krieger, he was having us over for NXT. I don't know where it was, but it was an NXT takeover, and Shug actually came to his house. So me, him, and Shug and some other people were watching the NXT takeover and stuff. So like that's also really cool because when they bring people over to Scotland, they'll often be like, right, I'll go to Scotland. They'll message our promoters and be like, I'm from here, I'll be in Scotland. So they end up working with a few other people. So Discovery are really good for bringing the stars in and and getting shows around here. Because like there's another company, BCW, they had Jake Hager in, and he then worked like a few other shows, and like there was town halls, like community centres that had Jake Hager in them, and that's kind of what they bring to the table over here. So like over here is a very, very strange mix of like stars in Scotland or stars in the UK, and then just every so often there'll just be this star just comes over and wrestles. I mean, obviously we had Drew over here all the time as well, but like there's so many people. I remember I was at a show, and I was this was before I debuted, I think, and I was just telling about the show, and I was selling merch for somebody, but I didn't know who, and then Al Snow just comes up and just plops his merch down, gives me his float, and he's like, "This is that much, that much, that much. There you go, dude." And I was like, "All right, thanks, Al Snow. That's cool. I used to get some stuff."
He's coming on a podcast.
Coming on our podcast.
Oh, see, he was really. He probably wouldn't remember me, so I was daft training. But he was really cool, man. And honestly, that guy, like, he's by no means young anymore. That guy can still. He knows that he can work. Like he can go.
He's in good shape now. Have you seen him? He looks like a brick
he's amazing. Yeah. Like honestly, he's fantastic these days, man. Like I was a big fan of the Job Squad when I was young, and not just that, right? Exactly who wasn't, but like. See at the show as well, what I did notice is that like I noticed that when people were there, so I don't know if he was just keeping the curtain pulled, so to speak. The head never left his hand at any point. The head was in his hand or sitting the table in front of him. He had that head with him at all times. He was so dedicated to it. It was him and Victoria, the lady that you're not to mess with.
It's Victoria from America, right?
Yeah, Victoria. That's one dress I wish we can get. I was obsessed with Victoria when she was weird. Oh my god, I don't know what it was.
Contact her because she's been on a few. I've seen her on quite a good few podcasts, and she is so lovely. Like she was one of the nicest people. I've never actually had anyone be a dick. Like I've never met somebody and be like, "What an arsehole."
I was trying to find her, Jason, to get in when we started having open dates in the end of like the month, and I couldn't either. I would find an email, and it got sent right back to my freaking phone, and I'm like, "What the hell am I doing wrong? Is it the email wrong?"
See, I've never contacted her myself. I've only met her that one time, and obviously I was a fan of her. But she is a diamond. Like, oh, she is so nice, man. There's so many people. Like wrestling's weird because everybody's nice. Like
everybody's nice, right?
I've never had a jerk. We did have. We're not loved in a certain country. I'm gonna say it, and I don't care. We're not really liked in Finland.
Really? That's a strange crossover. There's a national beef
in there, and they kind of got mad at us, so we're not liked in Finland. Sorry, Finland. You can more of your wrestlers just come and we'll interview you. But
yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can redeem yourselves. I'm sure. Like I met a guy with all from Finland, and he was nice. So I'm going to assume that all the Finnish people I've met are nice, all one of them. So I'm sure that I'm sure you can redeem yourselves with the nation of Finland.
Mm-hmm.
I told Geeks, unlight the flag.
I mean, yes. See, that was actually it's a place I would like to go. I like the idea of wrestling in Europe. Finland is somewhere I would definitely go. I like that general area. I like there's loads of culture and stuff there. Like, I love traveling. I've been to like a bunch of places out with wrestling. Finland's somewhere I'd like to go. It might be one of the top contenders for places I'd like to go.
We should, Jason. Definitely, we need to make that happen. Mm-hmm. You come to America, and we all hang out. We'll fucking
we'll go to America, the general America area.
Yeah.
We'll see the statue of the woman with the torch.
Oh, Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, that's
I cannot believe I just said the statue of the woman with the torch. No, I'm sorry. That had to be a hate thing. I don't know.
It's like your character is now coming out. Your character is now coming out.
Jason, you gotta do this. You have to make like a promo video of you just standing in front of the Statue of Liberty, like a sky shot. And you're like, "Hey, Jason, who's that? Statue of Liberty. I hate her."
The woman. It's young woman with torch. The Statue of Liberty, and then we'll go to Vegas. In fact, if we just go to Vegas, we can see the Statue of Liberty and Vegas at the same time.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure they're only a 5-second drive away, because I'm sure America's tiny like Scotland.
Oh,
The video
it
game
takes-
has
And then
to
they
be
piss
honest,
off the fan.
to be honest, it would take you a couple of days just to drive through America.
Mate, you can drive through Scotland in basically an afternoon. Some people do it. There's a thing actually. There's a really famous there's a thing called Britain's Route 66, which is called the NC 500. It's a 500-mile circle around the top half of Scotland. So like the whole you can drive around half of Scotland in 500 miles. So that tells you how big it is. It's tiny.
Yeah, because America. How long would it take you to drive through America?
Oh God! Oh wait, there's one more person, Jason, that I've in my mind paranormally. She came into my body and told me to ask you this. There's another female wrestler you need to look up. Her name
Okay.
is Mother Endless.
Mother Endless.
Yeah, you have to look her up.
Gosh.
Unfamiliar. See, I've came across a few female wrestlers from America. I might have actually seen her in a match with some of them. Like, there's some I've been watching that I've been quite impressed. One of them, see Holly Cromwell. One of her matches came up on like Twitter. Like someone retweeted it, and I was like, I'm bored. I'll check this out. She is really, really good, and she's got like the character down. She's got it handled, man. Like she's something of a fan. So I will check her out.
Sorry.
Mother Endless. I'll take
Yeah, Mother Endless is the type
You'll
of
be like, oh,
character
gee, man, right?
If they breeded Kane and the Undertaker and they had a baby and Mother Endless came out.
I feel like me and her would be absolute friends then, because
oh God,
somebody
ask.
What's scarier? Like that's scarier than us fighting, as we could be pals. Because when my second match, I think it was outside of my home promotion at the time, took place, fans started chanting, "You're just a shit Undertaker," and I was like, "It's 2017. Undertaker has become the shit Undertaker." So frankly, go away. That was a joke. Actually, I'm obviously a massive fan of Undertaker. I got to see him lose at WrestleMania though. So.
Oh yeah, but I got a question for Jason though.
All right.
What do you think of WWE destroying the UK scene? Do you feel that they destroyed it, or do you feel that because?
Oh, that's a good one. That's the journalist question. I like that. I personally feel like the scene is stronger. The reason being is that it sounds like I'm talking a bad spot, but I'm genuinely not. But it's just the people you knew would draw, and the people that you knew would get the people and the arses and the seats and the money in your pockets. They were always on the shows, so like most shows were a rotation of the same 5 or 6 people with odd opportunities given in. That upper echelon, for the most part, has now went to NXT UK. We still have a nice cozy amount of people who have been here for time, who are still wrestling, who can still have great matches with this new generation that are coming up. So I think it's strengthened the UK independent scene personally, because it's made more opportunities for people. It's made WWE so much more of a realistic view, because when we were young, like wrestling in WWE, like wrestling for WWE in America is a dream that you can have. But if you were from Scotland before a certain time, it was a pipe dream. Like it didn't. It was like wanting to be a dragon, essentially.
Yeah.
Then Drew happened. That's the best way to put that. Is Drew happened, which caused Drew's done a ridiculous amount for Scottish wrestling. Drew Galloway, Drew McIntyre. I was mixed up.
Yeah.
I sound like a pure prick. Like name drop him. I don't even know him. Like I've met him like twice.
You may be listening.
Definitely. He was massive for Scotland, and then since then, like for example, like do you know what I mean? There was people like Drew started when I think he debuted in 2007, on TV, and I was 11 at that point. I still wanted to be. I mean, I still want to be a wrestler now. I'm a wrestler, I suppose, the loosest use of the term. But I was like, I was dead set that this is what I wanted to do when I was young. When I actually grew out of that and then got into wrestling by accident, but I was dead set in that, and my mum was like, "That's fine. Like, of course you can do it, but just in case, do good at school, just because it's probably not a thing that you're going to do." Which no, she never said. She was obviously very supportive of everything, but you know that was the sentiment, so to speak. So that would happen, and then when Drew was a thing, and the Highlanders as well. From back in the day, it was suddenly a realistic thing. It could be done. Do you know what I mean? And then when he won the belt, like when Drew won the belt, geez, oh man, like there's just been a surge in motivation in this scene. So like,
I was going to be there. I was going to be there when Drew won the belt, but then everything got shut down.
That thing called the Cinerator right fingers. I don't want to say the name.
There is that the WrestleMania that I went to was WrestleMania 33, where the Hardys came back.
I was there.
Oh mate, see the Goldberg and Brock Lesnar match? I fucking loved it, man. It was pure chaos. Everybody hated it. I was like, spear, F5, F5, spear, jackhammer, F5. How can you not love that? That is fantastic. I don't know how.
Spear through the wall. That was awesome.
Oh, of course. And then that was a class mania. Like, I didn't enjoy the main event. I don't know if it was because I was 7 hours into a show, because it's like you'll know yourself for being there. It is a long day to go to a mania. Like,
so how long have you been a wrestling fan, Jason?
Well, as long as I can remember, my dad kind of held me as a child to watch it, and then I've just caught up with it at one point. So roughly since like maybe 99, 2000, when I was about 3 or 4. Was when I get into it initially.
Do you remember a name called Tito Santana?
Yeah, I remember Tito Santana.
You're going to get freaking goosebumps. You're going to want to tune into this episode. We're having Jennifer Haas, Tito Santana's daughter, next Friday.
Good, man.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I think I'm free then, actually, so I could probably tune into that. I'll ask some.
That is going to be the craziest, because I'm an 80s/90s kid, and I'm Puerto Rican. To watch a man like Tito Santana wrestle, like that man pretty much told me I could do anything. My grandfather was being a professional wrestler. I was on board because my grandfather was a wrestler. But to watch a man like Tito start out as a tag team champion and then become intercontinental champion and become so famous on his own instead of being part of Strikeforce. The sky is the limit, you know, like, wow. And then now his daughter's training. His daughter is.
It literally takes one person, I think, to make people believe that it can be done. Like, see, for me, honestly, like, I never, ever wanted to be a wrestler after I was a child. Like, I still enjoyed it. I still watched it always, but when it became a realistic thing, I never even considered it. It was just, I liked watching it. It was like, the average person does not watch NBA and decide they might go and do the NBA. So, like, it was just a case of, for me, that I went to training because my friend wanted to train, but he is, like, super, super shy. So I was like, right, I'll come, let you get acquainted with other people, and then I'll just drop it. But then I didn't drop it. I was enjoying it for the fitness aspect and stuff like that. And then Kevin Owens, who is slightly shorter than me, at the time similar build, we've both slimmed down since a bit. Like, I was seeing him doing all this mad, at the time Kevin Steen just doing all this mental stuff in the Indies, getting signed, being treated like an actual threat. And I was just like, what? Like, that is, like, no, like, Kevin Owens is genuinely one of my favourite wrestlers active today. But, like, he doesn't look like a wrestler. Like, I've heard someone say before, he looks more like a wrestling fan. And I'm like, that is what got to me more. So it wasn't so much Drew for me, because I was already kind of, it was a bit past when he was a new thing for me when I started. So for me, it was more Kevin Owens, because he's a thick boy and I was thick. Still, I'm thick, but I'm better thick.
You hit Nasty's chokeslam, though.
exactly, and he hits a fine moonsault. So that's like he's also Kevin Owens is a guy who does very basic stuff, but he does it better than anyone, and that's kind of something I appreciate.
And his
Because like
legs freak me out because they're so skinny that I'm afraid he's gonna take a bump and he's gonna go down and his leg's gonna break. That his legs weird. His legs freak me out because his legs are so long. It's like the bottom of his leg is so long and skinny that like I'm afraid that I'm gonna see one of those nasty fall off the top rope leg breaks like freaking Sid Vicious. Did you ever
but
see
then
that?
you see guys like Randy Orton as well, and his legs look like they're from a statue. Like his legs are like 10 feet tall, but he's somehow 6'4". He's got the massivest legs I've ever seen. Well, obviously, see how there was a time, and there is still a place for it, I believe, in wrestling. Of like, there was a time where like you looked like a big, jacked, muscled,
Yep.
blonde. Do you know what I mean? Kind of spray tan dude, and that was the key to success. Whereas now it's everything. It's all kind of work ethic and talent. Because like there was people who were like capable workers back in the day who were not given the spotlight. It's a running joke with me, but it's so true. I'm a massive fan of Savio Vega. He is phenomenal.
Like Savio.
Exactly. Like when I was young, even when I was young, like I just loved Savio Vega. I don't know what it was. I was just drawn to him, and like he had the talent. In my opinion, he had the talent to carry anything if he was given the chance. Might be biased. Don't know. I don't care. But Savio Vega, if Savio Vega was like young in today's wrestling scene, he would be a star 10 times of what he became. And know that Savio Vega is getting to snuff your nose at. He's still a star by all means, but he would have, in my opinion, he could have been a today level top guy. So like that
He's
as
still
well.
wrestling, I think. Savio Vega.
He's an MLW, and frankly, he's still a phenomenal hand. Like honestly, you hear so many stories of like that go hand in hand with like the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, where it's like these beat up guys that are just getting through. Very rare, to be honest. You're seeing guys, it's probably on DDP yoga, to be honest. You're seeing guys who are working at phenomenal levels. Like Chris Jericho has, in my opinion, only just started to slow down, and he's 50. Like, that's what's kind of gave me a bit of hope, is that Chris Jericho wrestles. Chris Jericho feels good. He is 26 years older than me. So it makes me comfortable that I might have a wee bit left, at least in this business, as it were.
I guess that'd be your dream match, you versus Savio Vega.
Oh, I mean, if we're going like all time, what I think I could have the best match with and all that, probably Owens. But yeah, I would kill to wrestle Savio Vega. Like I have like a bucket list of people I would just love to meet and like pick their brain.
You never know. We could be watching. We don't know, but Savio Vega or listening later on to our podcast.
I would be so up for that, man. I've DM'd Savio Vega a link to my podcast because he was on the like the poster that my graphics guy CRK Graphics made, and it was just see how there's a, I don't know if you know the Venga Boys in America from like
Vegas
the 90s. They were pop group. No, the Venga Boys. It was like they sang about going to Ibiza and stuff. They were really rather shit, but I was done a podcast with Brent Carter, and I got him and Savio Vega on the cover of it and called it the Vega Boys. And I sent that to Savio Vega. He didn't reply to it, sadly. He probably didn't know I've DM'd him, to be honest. But aye. So hopefully listen to my podcast, maybe.
That'd be cool for you.
Remember, Joe, we gotta get Nando's in America. We gotta message them later.
You got it later on. You gotta don't DM them on Twitter. Then
you do it on Instagram. You'll do it on Instagram. I'll do it on Twitter. See if they.
Hold on, I'll go on. It sounds horrible. I'm doing this in the middle of a guest. Go into search.
Don't do it now. Do it later. Do it now. Do it later, dude.
I mean, it is of the utmost important, but there's a thing in the UK where like your strength as a person is based very much. People will base their opinion on you based on which sauce you get at Nando's. If you get the extra hot, people will fear you and respect you and call you every sort of manly thing that you want. If you get the medium, people will just not care that you exist. If you get
Hot.
there's the extra hot, and then there's the hot. People will say that they'll keep an eye out on you. They won't be like, oh, you're a hard nut, but they'll be like, fair play.
How do
If
you
you get
spell
the
the name
lemon,
now?
the name is NANDOS.
NAN?
DOS. But if you get a lemon and herb sauce here on your chicken, you're a second class citizen. People
Oh
will
my
spit
gosh,
at
there's
you.
3 different versions of it. He's
It's,
not
it's
lying,
got,
fans. 3 different versions of Nando's right there. Boom. I don't know which one to click. They're all look good.
the top one is the right logo.
Oh, the top one? Okay.
Yeah, it's a peri place, and they do this thing. There's another thing where people will suss you out by. They have a thing called wing roulette, which I don't know if it's a thing where you are. It's a thing here. They will get 10 wings, each of different levels of spice that you don't know about. So they'll mostly be mild or medium.
Oh, jeez.
But in there is a couple of hots, and there will be one extra hot. See if someone gets a wing roulette plate to themselves, people will just accept that person as a maniac. You're mental if you do that. I do it because fear keeps you on your toes, I suppose. I don't really like super hot food because I don't see the point in. I don't get why you want your food to put you in pain. I suppose.
You want it because you want to enjoy it. Some people actually enjoy the spiciness. I'm like, how do you enjoy spicy food so much? And it's like, this is like torture.
See, I don't eat a lot of spicy food. My food intake is very. I have the food intake of a 10-year-old child. Like, obviously, I've changed the diet up. I'm on the boring ass chicken and rice, but I love like chicken nuggets and turkey dinosaurs, man. We have a thing of, I don't know if you have them in America, but you just get wee dinosaurs, like wee turkey nuggets shaped like dinosaurs.
Oh, there's some nuggets. Yeah, we have those in America too.
Amazing. That's what I love. Like, you just call them ramen, but like we call them super noodles because we're so uncultured.
What do we have? The Idaho Dino Nuggets, I think it is. That's the name of the brand.
Do you know what you have in America, which we do not have, and I hate because I love them? Hot Pockets and pizza rolls, man. Oh man,
how do you hate it, but you love it?
Like, I hate that we don't have them because I love these things. Oh, when I'm in America, I'll find where I'm staying. First thing I do is I'll just put all my bags in, go the hell to Walmart, or I have to crack my shoulder there because my body's falling apart. Walmart or whatever, and I will purchase them in spades, and all the cereal as well, pizza rolls and cereal.
Oh god, we have to buy all this stuff when it comes to pizza.
I will get a massive trolley and put everything in. Like, my girlfriend tells every day about this. I am obsessed with cereal. I need to have at least 4 different types of cereal in the house at one time.
Oh god!
See if I finish a cereal, like a box of cereal, and there's still a couple boxes there, I will feel inclined to still go and get more. And like one morning I might want a chocolate one, the next one I might want like, I don't know, some Fruit Loops or something. And see, because I don't finish one and open the next, she just wants to kill me. She might kill me if I go in there and open up a different box of cereal. But cereal is my obsession. Cereal and pizza rolls is why America gets a pardon for the rest of their strangeness.
Sorry. Target. So you'd be walking around Target with you like, I hate them, I hate that person. No, stop saying you hate them.
Yeah, it's like, you know how that scene in The Grinch where he's like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Loathe entirely. That's how I feel. But like,
we have to make a vlog about that. Jason comes to New York. We have you walking around.
Like all the things Jason hates. Yeah, definitely.
Coming to America. Coming to America.
We're like, we're holding a sign that says Jason, and I'm standing next to it with a sign that says Hellhound. And then Lance has
come up to me and I can tell them to go away. That would be like you know you get like kissing booths. It would be a go away booth where you come up to me and I'll just be like, go away, fuck off, and off.
That'd be the best vlog ever. It'd be like, I'm holding the sign that says Hellhound, and Geek's holding the sign that says Jason, and you're like, nope, don't know you guys. You guys, nope, I hate you.
Sorry, it's like, fuck off, right?
Fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off. See,
Yes, we're here.
in America, see when we hear Americans say fuck off, we get a bit weird because we feel like it's our thing. I don't know why. We just feel like that for some reason Scottish people have it in their head that fuck off is a Scottish phrase, which it isn't. But like, I don't know why, but I still feel like fuck off sounds better than anything else.
No, it's an American thing too.
Because like it's like Billy Connolly says it best, man. It doesn't matter if it's like a Tibetan monk or a guy from Glasgow or a cowboy from Texas. If you look at them and go fuck off, they know what you're saying, and off they will fuck. Like that's it's an international. It's a universal. I'm pretty sure that if an alien come up to me and I was like, fuck off, the alien would be like, right, okay, and fuck off.
Or
That's how I feel.
Oh, they zap you with their zapper or something like that.
And then you'd be like,
I mean, as you can see, I'm quite experienced with space. Behind me is a popular Disney ride, Space Mountain. Sorry, I'm really fucking not funny.
Remember, Jason, this interview was sponsored by Vans, Off the Wall.
Vans, because I am off the wall, as Ruby Roberts likes to put it. I'm actually floating in a space mountain, but I've not got the edges in right, so it doesn't look like a Zoom background as everyone thinks it is. But it's real. Wait, I'll put my hand under it. There we go. My hand is in space.
Vans is gonna what's it called? Instant DM me tomorrow, and they're gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, fuck off, and Joe's gonna be like, no, don't fuck off. No, we need sponsors.
Hello,
what are you doing?
Hello, I don't know what the owner of Vans is called. Dave Vans, as Danhausen would call him. Dave Vans, fuck off. Send me free shoes and then fuck off. No, in fact, Vans annoy me because I am a UK size 13 in a shoe. I'm sorry I'm using your podcast as a platform to rant to Vans. I am over this, man, right? I can't go to a shop and buy shoes because they only go up to a size 12 in the shops and I'm a size 13. Why? Why would you stop? Like, why would you stop selling shoes at a certain size? Would you just go, no, absolutely no one can have bigger feet than this. Just, if the day they can order them from America and wait 3 weeks for them to arrive, what if I don't have any shoes, Vans, and then I need to go to the shop in my odd socks and people will stare? And it's your fault, Dave Vans. I hate you.
No.
I will. I don't know if it's, to be honest, I don't know if it's Dave Vans' fault or the shop's fault, but I'll be very, very rude and aggressive about it either way.
I wear a size 8. I like Vans. I wear them a lot. And Skechers.
Vans, please send us shoes.
I want shoes. Shit, come on.
I believe in, you refer to them in America as Chucks.
Chucks, Chucks. I like Chucks.
Yeah, we call them Converse here.
They're called Chucks, Converse. My dad loves them shoes. Converse, shit. Come on, send some shit.
It actually goes back to my obsession with Doctor Who because one of the doctors used to wear a suit with some Converse, and then since then I just became obsessed with Converse, and I still have a pair at all times. I think I've owned maybe about 90 pairs of Chucks in my life.
Send us some stuff. Reebok. I like Reebok. I just got a pair of. There you go. This is showing the real nerd that I was talking to you before we went live, Jason. I got a pair of Ghostbusters Reeboks.
Oh, sweet man! I like the. Have you ever seen the Adidas range of Dragon Ball Z shoes?
Oh yeah, I think I saw those. Yeah,
they are amazing, man. Like I would never. They wouldn't suit me in anything.
I'll grab them.
Oh yeah, I love them. See, I used to have this really cool pair of another. Is this the right? Yes. So like as you can see by this sleeve, it's got like the Joker there and the Bat logo and stuff. I'm also very into DC and Batman, and I used to have this really really cool pair of Joker Chucks, and they had like
I saw them.
Those are hot.
Oh,
Those were so cool, and I had them for 3 days, and then my dog ate them, and
oh,
I couldn't be angry at her because my dog is fantastic. She's so cool. I was
oh
just
yeah.
like,
There we go. My our mod, one we met before the show, ever so spiffy, is obsessively asking, as always, her head's gonna pop. You got her now, finally.
so I do have a pet. She doesn't live with me anymore, because I moved out of my mum's house. But I do. I have a dog called Bentley. There's pictures of her on my wall, but I think they're nailed into the wall in a frame. Or I would show you. She's a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and she is like a nanny dog. She is so nice. Like my dog is like famous from where I'm from. Everybody just knows this dog and loves her. Like she's cool, man. She's also she obviously my mum has this duck as well. She's not a fan of the duck, but like usually as like the type of dog she has is like a bull terrier, so she's like a small but strong lockjaw having dog. So friendly, she would never hurt anybody. But when a dog like that dislikes a duck, you can imagine what would happen.
Oh,
But in
God.
Bentley's case, she just turns her back to it to annoy it. Like so that's she doesn't attack it, she doesn't go near it. She just turns her back to this duck and pretends it doesn't exist because she's like super friendly. So like, see if I'm the hellhound, she is the heaven hound, even though she's alive. But she's a fan. She's not a reflection of me and my terrible, horrible views. She's nice.
How'd you get the
And next
nickname?
shirt, you have to have your dog with the halo, and then you down below it, like in hell, because you're bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Like she's an angel, man. She's heavy sound.
So does
How'd
your
you get-
is your girlfriend wrestle as well, or no?
No, she actually had no idea about she could not see before she met me. She could not name a single wrestler. She didn't know who the Undertaker was, and
Oh
everybody
God,
knows who the Undertaker was. She knew who John Cena was
of
as an
course.
actor. She didn't know
Every
he was a
girl
wrestler.
knows John Cena. If a girl does
Um,
not know John Cena, there's a problem.
yeah.
But now she watches. If I'm watching, she'll be like into it. She's a huge fan of Rhea Ripley. She just loves Rhea Ripley. And then out of that, she used to do gymnastics, so she likes high flyers. But she's actually she's pretty initiated now. She knows what's going on and stuff. See, she's really cool in the fact that I'm a grown man that loves wrestling and Doctor Who, and I have weird stuff all over my house, and she's like just so cool with it all. I think she's numb to it now, but wrestling's the one thing that she does make the active effort with.
This episode was a call out episode. You called out Little Mean Kathleen, but I actually,
I had
Jason,
Tom
you're gonna
McCool and
laugh.
Stockade.
While we were doing the show, that's why you heard the bing in the background on Geek Side. I messaged her and see if she was available right now, but she wasn't available. So when we get her again, I'll see if you're available. Geek will send you the link on Instagram, and we will have an encounter with Little Mean Kathleen and Jason.
I would do really up for that. I feel like this has just fell off my couch, so I feel like I should show you because I'm doing weird stuff with my hand down here. I have this pillow, right? You know how those pillows you get where it's like sequins and you can flip the sequins over and it reveals a beautiful piece of art. So like this pillow looks like this, okay?
Wow,
I'll try and get the
really
link
good.
to it. So wait till you see this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, God. Who is?
It's not like Dan.
Danny
it's
DeVito.
And plus, if I sit like this, it looks like I'm Danny DeVito. Hello, I am the dad from Matilda.
We got tricked. We got catfish. It's Danny DeVito.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm the Penguin from Batman.
But then if I drop it, I become Miss Trunchbull. So I'm two characters in Matilda. I just felt the need to get the Danny DeVito cushion over because I've got loads of weird stuff in my house. And
I don't know how many people are watching this episode right now. We just got Danny DeVito. We just got hashtag Danny DeVito.
The only thing is that I've now outshone myself with a better guest than me because you don't get much better than Danny DeVito. He is the internet's grandfather.
So like after this episode is live, when you go on the Twitch afterwards, grab the link. Put it on Twitter and Twitter. Wow. Put it on Twitter but on Twitter and at Danny DeVito.
Oh, I shall at Danny DeVito actually because I love it having weird interactions with celebrities on Twitter.
Let's
It
see
makes
what
my,
he says. If you at him, say
yeah.
what about you.
I mean, I should have done it with Bill Murray because he is like well known to like interact with people. So that would have been I should get a Bill Murray, which I probably will now that I've mentioned that in my head because this was actually a compromise between me and my girlfriend because I wanted to get a life size cardboard cutout of Danny DeVito, which I could put over there at the door that leads out to my balcony, so that whenever someone walks by, they would just think Danny DeVito's watching them.
Oh God, imagine
but,
that shirt. Danny DeVito's watching you.
and she was like, "No, somebody will phone the police." And I was like, "Right, well, I'm getting Danny DeVito," and I decided that I was going to get one of these with him, but her friend has one of them, so
I have him on the mountain, standing on top of the peak of the mountain
No,
behind.
there should be like a weekly series right here. Dudes at Ringside Podcast attempts to socialize with
Tweeter, yes, tweeter. I said it. Tweeter.
Jason Hyde.
and we can every week we can discuss a new weird thing I have in my house.
Exactly.
Next week we can have
something random we just talk about. You know,
That'd be a new podcast. I
I've
got
got
this little guy, this little weirdo right here, a little Puerto Rican guy. Hey, Puerto Rican, and I'm New York. See, I'm New York. I don't know if you had these over there in Scotland. They're called homies. I don't know if you had them in America, in Scotland. They were like Geek Report. Remember, they came out for a while, I think in the 90s or late 2000s. It was like these thug characters. I got this one out of a claw machine because back in the day, my wrestler was always Puerto Rico guy. So I was like, that's me. That's fucking me with a goatee. That's me.
Yeah.
Look at me. See, I gotta put little red glasses on him now.
I have one. I have like a small like a stuffed figure, and it's got my face on it, and a wee tuxedo on. But the face has like weird Roy Purdy sunglasses on. That was actually a birthday gift to my girlfriend because whenever I'm like away at work or whatever, she gets really needy and misses me. So I went, here, you just have me in a teddy bear form. But I also have, that's one of the weird things. I've also, like, in eyesight right now, I've got a skull with funky sunglasses on, and he has a tattoo on his head, and his name's Johnny Bones, like John Jones, but it's Johnny Bones.
Yeah.
And then next to that is the wee teacup from Beauty and the Beast, but there's a plant growing out of its head. There is a framed picture of TV chef Ainsley Harriott on my wall. It's a litany of weird stuff that I've got here, so I could make a million shows out of that. I've got sonic screwdrivers for TV remotes.
I got a cow skull in my room.
You've got a what?
A cow skull.
Like a real one?
Yeah. I'd mess everything up in my room, but it's right above my door with the feather on it. Yeah.
Do they sell those at Walmart?
No. My sister's friend owns a farm, a heifer farm, and they went in this big pile of dead animals, and she just fixed it up, cleaned it up, and was like, "Here, Randy," and I'm just like, "Oh God, that's the coolest thing ever!" And then they found a horn to stick on one. They found one horn to stick on the left side, right side. I'm bad with my right and left. I think it's like the right side. And
I'm 24 and I still do that. That makes an L. That's my left.
Yeah, I got my left. My dad's like, "What hand is your right hand?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, I think I'm in it with that. I also struggle to tie my shoes. I still do the bunny loop method that children do.
I always take 10 minutes. I'm like, hold on. I could be hit by
my sister gets really pissy at me because I take ages to put my shoes on. I don't know why. I just can't. I can't fathom the method. And my sister is, as everyone tells me, a female version of me. Like, that's the best way to put it. She's tiny though. So like I'm like 6'4". I think my sister's 5'2". She is just a small, angry Scottish woman, and she goes mental because she's like, I've watched a full episode of fucking Love Island while you're putting your shoes on, and I'm like, loop, swoop, and hoop. We'll get there eventually. So we never get there. I usually end up just quitting and tucking it into the side and hoping I don't fall in front of a bus. And so far, I've not fallen in front of that many buses. Not an alarm amount.
I think we covered everything right now. We got everything. Shoes. We talked about.
I think we talked about everything but his career.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, that's the way to go. My career's fine. That's why I avoid it. See if it's not gone so well. I'll just be like.
But I really don't care because
so bad,
dude, I'm having a blast right now.
This
Just
is some.
I'm enjoying it. I'm like
podcast. Let's do
What?
an
Yeah,
alternate podcast with Jason, like called the Split Country Podcast.
Random things we could talk about on a
The
special
America, like
topic.
split country. I mean, like Scotland and America. Just like like.
I can be the third honorary dude at ringside, except when I'm wrestling, they won't let me stay at ringside. They insist that I go in the match. But other than that, I can be the third dude at ringside.
I could say this now. If I'm supposed to be maybe going to Halloween Horror Night in October to Orlando, if I have to go, Geek, tell Jason he could be my replacement for the show.
I'd be so down for that. I'd love that. I'm really good at being bad at talking to people.
Joe, how many replacements are there going to be? You've asked everybody already.
But everyone else is not as good as me. Sorry to everyone else. If you're upset that I said that, get better than me. But
that'd be hilarious. They expect to see me. They're like, but
no, you got Jason instead. Sorry.
No, what I can do is I can still just pretend that I'm you. Like,
he's gotta buy some red glasses. Like
the red glasses.
Yeah, I don't know if I do. I've got the black ones.
Joe sits randomly in your house, and it's like, how'd you get in Joe's house? I have my ways.
I've got my This is actually a weird time that you say that, because I went out to go out to my balcony the other day, and I turned the key and it snapped in the lock. Like, the key just snapped, and then I very calmly went into the kitchen, got 2 bobby pins, and jimmied the door.
Oh God!
If you're from Scotland, you need to be a criminal. That's how it works.
Joe, don't tell them where you live. That's all.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get no.
I'll just pick the lock at every house until I get there.
Every house in Pennsylvania, be like,
you've already
narrowed it down to
in America.
It was Jason. We all know.
Aye, if your house gets broken into but nothing gets stolen, there's just a big mad guy going, "Where's Joe?" It's me. I'm sorry to alarm you. I'm just looking for Joe.
My mom was like, "Yo, you have to be like tough. Like, I guess you have a beard, so you have to shave your beard off and just keep your mustache, because that's me. See, I'm the stash man.
See, like, you can pull off a mustache, whereas I have. You know how, like, the pictures of Post Malone where his mustache looks like 2 dogs kissing? That's what my mustache looks like. There's like they're in different zip codes because there's just a gap in the middle. I've got a really shit beard, but I kind of look like Fat Bastard from Austin Powers without it, so we keep it there.
Yeah. So I know it's really late by you, Jason, but if you have to go, we understand.
Mate, I'm honestly fine. If you want to call it, I don't mind. I don't sleep. I'm fine. Yeah. Answer whatever you want, man.
No, I'm just wondering. I don't want to hope, because one of our guests always in the private chat are like, "What time is this ending? What time do
we go all night, man?"
Man, you get my time for as long as you want it. That's the deal. That's how I do it. So it's up to you. I'll do it as long as you want, man.
Yeah.
It's only one.
What's up?
Well, you want to keep going, Geek?
I'm up for it. It's up to you.
I'm good. We could do it another time though too.
Yeah, well, we can have you on another time.
Yeah, that's also fine. I'm also free. You can hit me up and I'll be on whenever you want.
Let us know when your podcast is. We want to be on your show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you can be on the show as well. We can also do it at this time where everyone else is asleep, so I don't need to deal with people this side.
Yeah. And you could even get Woods. Oh my God, have
all the 4 of us.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like, honestly, the thing I've been surprised with every American podcast I've been on, being used in Woods, is that everyone seems to understand me absolutely fine, but then see, when I go to America, no one understands a word I'm saying. I don't know if it's just because I'm mostly in Florida, and Florida's like, I know that Florida is like a different universe.
Florida's just Florida.
Like, Florida, yeah, like it's like Florida is like only in America by geography. Everything else is just a different universe. Like Florida man is a real thing. I went to Florida and I met many Florida men and they were all mental.
They're just Florida. I'm just saying they're
Yeah,
Florida.
it's Florida and then the United States that surround Florida.
Yeah. Florida's it's basically its own space.
Yeah, I got that feeling because I went to New York as well, in the airport just in a kind of connecting flight, and everybody was just like normal, but in Florida everybody is turned up to 11. It's a different universe, man. We can
Yeah.
go to Florida together too and hit up Disney World.
Yeah. So yeah, just I don't know, Geek, if you want to keep going. I gotta eat my dinner, so
I didn't even eat dinner either, so I mean
just tell our fans where they could find any of your merch or anything you want to promote right now.
Y'all can find me. So the merchant that's all linked on the Twitter, which is at it's at Jason Hyde PW, capital J, capital H, capital PW. It's also facebook.com/this bad. Have I got it? Aye, this bad boy here.
Mhm.
And that's all I have. And then from that you can search Jason Hyde attempts to socialise on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Anchor, wherever you get your listening material. And then I've also, this isn't anything like I can confirm just yet, but I've also got I've been doing some acting and some voice acting that I'm very very excited about.
That's good.
So people can check that out as well, and I'm sure they would enjoy that when the time comes for me to say what it is.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for coming on. By the
Thank
way,
you, Jason.
Dude, you've been an amazing guest.
That was so much fun. Oh god,
dude, I haven't had so much fun on a podcast in a while, man. You know?
hey, I'm gonna tell that to punch you.
I'm glad to hear it, man. I'll be back whenever you want me. I'm at your beck and call, so you can message me anytime and I'll come on for these. And I'll have these on my podcast as well pretty soon. Goodbye, America.
Take care. Take care, Scotland.
Thank you, Scotland. That flag is always going to be lit. You guys are the best. Never unlike that flag. That flag is permanent. Listen, we put 2 lights by it and on the top and bottom. Like it's like an honor thing. Like
yeah, that's what I've got. I've got all my lights facing this one so that the space pops, so you can pretend I'm space and not Scotland.
Yeah.
All right. Later.
Bye bye.
See you later.
That was fun. That was a fun interview, Joe. Oh my god, I think that had a blast, dude. You know?
Oh, that was so much fun. We talked about everything. We nerded out. We talked about his things. We talked about our things. We talked about everything. Food. Yeah. I actually did message that place as we were doing the podcast, but their thing's weird. They had the follow on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird. I was like, what?
You want to close it up, Joe?
Well, don't forget to check out Jason Hyde's merch and his stuff and message him on Twitter.
Watch his matches.
And his matches on YouTube. Definitely go check them out. He's got some good stuff. His matches are really interesting.
He's got a podcast.
Really wrestler. Yapping. You're doing it again, Geeko.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just don't forget to go. If you want to go on Pro Wrestling Tees, I don't think it steps on there. Go buy merch if they have merch from that from Scotland, that promotion he's part of in Scotland. We have some shows coming up really big. I'll hand it off to Geeky.
All right, and remember, Joe almost forgot. Go follow Jason Hyde on Attempt to Socialize. That's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, wherever you can find podcasts. And you can also donate to us at http://streamlabs.com/dudes@ringside, http://streamlabs.com/dudes@ringside. And take it away, Joe.
And as I say always, thank you to my grandfather, Jose Quinones. Thank you to my cousin, Pete Sanchez. And thank you to my uncle's godfather, Frank Martinez, for the Blue Demon, for lighting the way for all Latino wrestlers. We'll see you Thursday for Jesse Noel.